Hi, I'm Valerie Pritchett.
And I'm Monica Cryan. Thanks for joining us for Destination PA. We're highlighting places across the state you can visit for a quick getaway.
The Cumberland Valley is home to one of 13 state-designated scenic rivers, and the area's creeks are known for great fishing.
The Yellow Breeches is used for lots of recreational activities. If you get towards the lower end, towards down past Messiah, McCormick Road, kayaking is really big down there. And up to the northern end here towards Newville, you get a lot of fly fishing and that kind of activity.
I joined Adam Spangler and Alan Schreffler of the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission to learn about fly fishing. Alan, who's been fishing since childhood, did most of the teaching. He says the Yellow Breeches' many fishing locations is especially welcome in this age of social distancing.
If I pull into a parking lot and there's a lot of cars and I can see there's people everywhere, there's typically another spot just as good, not that far away, without a lot of people there. So you keep that rod tip lower to the water and then just stop it whenever you want it to straighten out. Okay, that's fine. So
the very first one,
yep.
I get it caught in the tree.
You'll learn that you gotta get used to getting caught in trees.
Just a few yards downstream, Edward from Chester County was reeling them in.
Oh yeah, I caught a lot of fish. It's been a good day. This is really a beautiful creek. I mean, I come here because it just relaxes me. I mean, if I don't catch fish, I'm fishing, so. But when I have a good day, then I get sort of smart.
The Yellow Breeches starts in the Michaud State Forest in Cumberland County and stretches 56 miles until it joins the Susquehanna River.
Every year, millions come to Pennsylvania to see one of the most incredible display gardens in the U.S. Alex Butler shows us the beauty of Longwood Gardens.
Longwood Gardens is one of the most beautiful places on earth.
From the flowers to the fountains, there is beauty at every turn.
It's stunning, absolutely stunning.
With over 1,000 acres of outdoor gardens, indoor gardens, and greenhouses to get to, there's a map to help you along the way.
We know that our property is big and there's so many things to see and do, so we actually have an interactive map that you can pull right up on your phone. That tells you where you are in the gardens and highlights some of the things to see.
One of the stars of Longwood is the conservatory.
It's 4 acres under glass, and every day of the year it's a flower show. So no matter when you come, you'll see something new and different. We have more fountains than any other garden in the United States, and one of the major fountain collections in North America.
A big feature is the dazzling, colorful performances on Friday and Saturday nights.
It's a half-hour fountain show in our main fountain garden set to music, and literally the fountains dance to the music, and they're illuminated, and it's really spectacular. And it's every kind of music from classical to pop.
But years before this was a public garden, Longwood was the creation of a man who really loved plants.
Our founder was Pierre Samuel Dupont, who in 1906 learned about a historic arboretum that was supposed to be cut for lumber. And he stepped in and bought the property and bought the lumber contracts to save the trees, and then began building Longwood Gardens.
His weekend residence, built in 1730, is one of the major attractions to see at Longwood and is the oldest building on the property. Today, you can not only enjoy his beautiful gardens, but also become a member.
We are members here. We enjoy coming here in every season. It's fun, and it's always different.
If you happen to come in the summertime, one of the best things we have is our water lily display.
The water lilies are just outside the conservatory, and when you're ready, you can dine and drink at the gardens too.
And one of the things you don't want to miss is our outdoor beer garden. We actually work with our friends at Victory Brewing Company and create beers that are brewed from ingredients grown here right in our garden.
There is no shortage of things to see, and you definitely don't have to have a green thumb to enjoy it.
One of the things I love about bringing someone to Longwood who's never been here before is that they may not think they're a plant person, right? I don't really like to garden, but then they come to Longwood and they are just wowed by the beauty. They're wowed by the fountains. They're wowed by the entire experience, and then they want to come back again and again and again.
And those who return to Longwood Gardens say it's always exciting to see the reactions of first-time visitors.
They're in absolute awe that we lived so close to such a beautiful, beautiful park.
Now, if you enjoy hiking and the great outdoors, there's a spot you'll want to visit in Northeast Pennsylvania.
It is breathtaking. Logan Westrope walks us through Bushkill Falls.
Tucked away in extreme northeastern PA lies what is considered the Niagara of Pennsylvania, Bushkill Falls in Lehman Township section of Pike County. Located right near the New Jersey border, it's an escape to the great outdoors away from all the hustle and bustle. Here at Bushkill Falls, there's already plenty to do right at the front entrance, from a stop at the sweet shop to a tour of the Native American exhibit. But for many, it comes down to visiting the scenic falls. We spoke to Eileen Fields from Bluebell, PA, who is visiting Bushkill Falls for the first time.
If you've never hiked in the woods before, this place is perfect. Really easy to follow, beautiful trails.
Trails that lead you to 8 majestic waterfalls that are well worth the drive no matter where you're from.
It's worth the traveling, man. I drove 2 hours. And the hike was about almost 3 hours, so it was definitely worth it, for sure.
Layla Badar of Burlington, New Jersey, says Bushkill Falls has been on the top of her bucket list for a while, and she will travel near and far for a good hike.
I've been dreaming for this place long time, and I drove 2 hours and 45 minutes to just come over here and to see this beautiful falls.
Now here at Bushkill Falls, it's pretty easy to follow the trails. You pick from one of the 4 to choose from and just follow the color markings here on the trees. If you're into an easier, quicker hike, the green and yellow trails may be more suited for you. For a longer and more intensive journey for the more avid hikers, consider taking the blue or red trails. But no matter which path you take, you must make a pit stop at Main Falls, which features picturesque sights of the 100-foot drop. Carlos Machado told us this was his first time visiting Northeast PA, and no matter what age you are, there's plenty to do.
It's a lot of exercise, one, and number 2 is the falls are really interesting. The whole layout is very nice, well done for people like my age to come and enjoy.
Aside from the views of the waterfalls, don't forget about the great Pennsylvania wildlife. And speaking of animals, the trail welcomes your furry friends on a leash as you navigate through the blissful waterways of this hidden gem.
You can do a short hike, you can do a longer hike. Just be aware you will be walking up at the end, so be ready.
For Destination PA, I'm Logan Westrope.
19 years ago, the world turned its attention to a field in Somerset County, the impact site of United Airlines Flight 93.
Jordan Tracy shows us the memorial honoring the brave men and women who stopped further destruction from reaching Washington, D.C.
We can look back as a nation 19 years later, and there's a huge debt owed to the individuals on board that plane.
Visitors of the Flight 93 memorial are first greeted by the Tower of Voices. Dedicated in 2018, the tower currently has 8 prototype chimes of the 40 that will be installed for each passenger and crew member.
That will ultimately represent the voices of the passengers and crew who were on board this flight. So it's a symbolic tribute to their voices, their everlasting voices.
Next is the visitor center that outlines the full timeline of the flight and has interactives like hearing the phone calls made by those on board the flight. While the hours are the same, the pandemic had changed some things at the center. The building operates as a one-way entrance and exit, and there may be temporary closures from time to time.
Some of the interactives that are part of our exhibits, where you learn about the story of Flight 93, some of those features may or may not be available depending on how much of a crowd we have here when you visit.
The site also offers outdoor recreation by way of 2 trails totaling more than 2 miles that connects all of the different exhibits.
It takes visitors across an 800-foot long wetlands bridge, which is on the same curvature as the trail the whole way as it descends from the visitor center down to the Memorial Plaza where we're currently at.
The Memorial Plaza features the Wall of Names leading to a wooden gate made of 40 angles representing each passenger and crew member. The gate leads to the boulder marking the impact site of Flight 93. It's only opened each year after the ceremony in September to lead family members of those on board down to the site.
Despite the pandemic, officials with Flight 93 Memorial say there will be a ceremony in September.
Many visit Lancaster County to learn about the Amish way of life.
One tour gives you a first-hand look at what goes on at the farm. Priscilla Ligori reports.
The Amish Experience in Lancaster County gives you exactly what's in its name.
So we like to kind of really show who the Amish are.
The tour company shuttles people to various working Amish farms for an up-close look at day-to-day life. In the theater, you learn about things you can't see today, like history.
We talk about the ocean voyage, how the Amish came across from Europe and settled here.
Next, tour guides bring you through a recreated one-room school.
One teacher is going to teach maybe 30 scholars, they call them scholars.
Students from 1st to 8th grade are all in the same classroom. The desks are smaller for 1st graders up here, and as kids grow older, they move back to the larger desks.
They will go on and continue what they call vocational training after they graduate from 8th grade.
Also on site, a replica of an Amish house. What looks like a trip back in time is actually updated to current standards for Amish families. Some types of new tools and toys or upgrades the Amish want need to be approved by local leaders.
Whatever they think that they want to change, they have to get the permission of the bishop of the church district.
The AC keeping you cool and the lights making sure you can see are the only things here that aren't authentic.
While we're in here, we talk about the boys and the men's clothing because they don't change.
Still, some of what you spot might surprise you. Running water? Yes. Commercial electricity? No. Battery-operated electricity? Yes.
Which is generated from solar cells, mostly on the roof of the Amish house.
Many ask, why is one type of electricity okay, but not another?
They don't want to be tied in with the rest of us in a lot of cases.
Not all Amish communities follow the same rules, but it's a way of life that the Amish Experience educates tens of thousands of visitors on each year.
We don't necessarily try to convert anyone or try to convince them that the Amish way of life is the best. We just want them to understand who the Amish are.
Because no matter where you are, understanding is something everyone can share. For Destination Pennsylvania, I'm Priscilla Ligori.
It is one of the 20 must-see Pennsylvania state parks. Colleen Knudsen explores the 900-plus acres of outdoor adventures at Canoe Creek.
Named one of the 20 must-see Pennsylvania state parks, Canoe Creek has more than 900 acres of outdoor adventures for folks of all ages. Like their sand beach on Canoe Lake.
It's just a very nice atmosphere and, you know, nice to feel the sand on your toes.
The lake is stocked with trout for the spring and bass for the summer, along with boat rentals to get you out there. And if you get hungry, you can buy a snack at Jack's Grub Shack or bring your own and have a picnic.
My husband and I came here for years and years and years. We was the first ones in the park and the last ones to leave every Sunday.
Not a beach person? How about hiking? Some trails even take you past the historic Blair County limestone kilns that are now cleaned out for you to walk through.
It's a neat feature to get a good step back in time and imagine what it looked like.
And if you're in the mood for a challenge, try tackling the Hartman Trail, which stretches 1.5 miles.
A great uphill hike. You get to go past the kilns and past the old quarry mines, and just you get to see a good view of Scotch Valley as well on the backside of the mountain.
So whether you're young or young at heart, bring along your family, friends, even your furry companions, and see what you discover at Canoe Creek.
It's small and an often forgotten area, but it's home to a big part of history.
Jordan Tracy takes us on a tour of Fort Necessity in Fayette County.
A small fort with a big story. In what's now known as Farmington, Fayette County, Fort Necessity was the site of one of the early battles that kick-started the French and Indian War. A 22-year-old George Washington led a regiment of Virginians to build Military Road, but was later asked to ambush a French patrol. Washington feared a large retaliation and set up Fort Necessity in the Great Meadows.
Here on July 3rd, 1754, the French would arrive and Washington would fight an 8-hour battle. Unfortunately for Washington, he would end up surrendering, and it was his only formal surrender in his long military career.
The British would, of course, win the war, resulting in a large empire and large costs of running it. They turned to the colonies to make that money, and as you may have heard before, the colonies didn't like that. As the revolution began, the saying goes, an enemy of my enemy is a friend, and it was the French who joined the revolution.
Here's an opportunity to get back at Great Britain and knock them down a peg. And without the use of French muskets, French loans of money, the use of their army and navy, we would not be celebrating the 4th of July.
Ritty says the small Fort Necessity played an important role in that path to revolution.
As cute of a little fort that this is and involves a young George Washington, it's really that first step on that road to revolution and the country that we have today.
Visitors get to experience that history at the fort with the visitor center, guided ranger tours, and even some demonstrations. The only current limitation due to COVID-19 is limited viewing of their film to reduce crowd size. The plus is that a lot of what you can experience at Fort Necessity is in the spacious outdoors.
We have close to 3 miles of hiking trails here, some of them utilizing the military road that Washington had built and later becomes known as Braddock's Road. So you can literally walk in those actual footsteps of history.
Reporting in Fayette County, Jordan Tracy, WTAJ News.
Now, if you're looking for thrills, Waldameer Park and Waterworld has you covered. It's the 10th oldest amusement park in the nation with more than 100 attractions and dozens of water slides for people of all ages.
We have a different philosophy than most parks. We don't charge for parking. Normally we let you in for free. You can walk around and decide what you want to spend.
The park also features the Ravine Flyer 2, a thrilling wooden roller coaster overlooking the shores of Lake Erie. A hot or rainy day won't keep you from having fun. Indian Echo Caverns in Derry Township, Dauphin County is open 7 days a week all year long. Priscilla Ligori takes us underground.
The history down here is amazing.
Climb down 71 steps and you arrive at 2 big doors. You won't believe what's inside.
Watch your heads.
Suzanne Fisher has worked at Indian Echo Caverns in Derry Township for more than 30 years.
We have just entered what we call the Indian Ballroom. It is the largest room in the caverns. It's 49 feet high and 110 feet across.
The caverns are a cool 52 degrees all year long. On your tour, you trek a half a mile through tunnels and rooms, learning about the rocks that surround you.
Stalactites, stalagmites, columns, and flowstone. Those are rock formations that grow from the mineral water that enters the caverns.
A lot of people come in here and they see the shiny rocks I'm surrounded by. They wonder, is it a diamond or something valuable? It's actually a mineral called calcium carbonate.
No diamonds, no emeralds.
These rocks have to be dry in order to sparkle. Others are cream or have streaks of color, all dependent on the minerals that make them.
We're going to head into our Eastern Canyon, and we're actually going into the driest part of the caverns.
Another fan favorite, the cavern's 3 lakes, filled with rain and mineral water. Crystal Lake appears incredibly shallow because the water is so clear, but it's 6 feet deep. All of this beauty is actually more than 100 feet under the parking lot.
And you would have never imagined it pulling in.
Fisher says a lot of people ask why Indian Echo is considered a cavern and not a cave.
We're a series of tunnels and rooms all connected instead of one large room.
Each formation has its own story in the underground journey.
We call it the wedding chapel because over here on the wall we do have a giant layered wedding cake.
Once you're done with your tour, you can head to the Gem Mill Junction to make your own colorful stones using a bag of sand.
Dump it in gradually, put it in the water, wash all the sand away, and then all their goodies are in here.
And while there aren't any creatures to see down in the caverns, you can finish your day by petting and feeding some furry friends at the Discovery Barnyard. For Destination Pennsylvania, I'm Priscilla Ligori.
Are you looking for an outdoor getaway that you can customize? Well, Adventure Explorations recently opened in Boiling Springs, Cumberland County, offering unique experiences from fishing to cycling on bikes from Italy, climbing, hiking, paddling, even boating on the Susquehanna River. The 1- and 2-day excursions created just for you include lunch to stay energized, all while a team records your outing, sending you a keepsake on the ride home.
It's all possible in terms of what you choose to do. Show up with your vehicle and the rest will take care of it. That's really the simplest. The main reason we did it, it was really to give people the chance to figure themselves out again, to create a situation where people could just let go.
And for more information on setting up a journey with Adventure Explorations, just head to the station's website.
And thanks so much for watching Destination PA. You can find information about all of the featured locations on the station's website.
Right, and if you missed the first two specials, they're there too. Enjoy your evening.